Hi, and welcome to week 2. The first thing that I want you to do is look at the style and usage guide. You're going to click on a couple of tabs to get there, but this really just walks you through kind of logical suggestions when it comes to communicating in a business setting. So, saying things simply, using the active as opposed to passive voice, using verbs as opposed to concentrating or overemphasizing nouns, not using too many prepositions, using parallel structure. Parallel structure is just really making the items in a series consistent. So as you can see in the not parallel, planning, revision, editing, evaluating turns into planning, revising, editing, and evaluating so that you keep them similar in grammatical structure. Kind of keeping the information together, descriptive ideas should be connected to the words that they're describing, and avoiding language that's going to make your reader work too hard to understand what you're trying to say. As a disclaimer, sometimes there are, documents where prepositions may be copious, or there might be a time where it is better to use that passive rather than active voice. So you want to use these as a rule of thumb, but you also want to adhere to good writing practices. So once you read through that, I also want you to, in preparation for the 2 memo assignments and the discussion forum, first I want you to read through the Purdue Owl's information about writing a memo. I want you to go through all 4 parts of this, though. I want you to read the audience and purpose section, parts of a memo, the format, and a sample memo. I also want you to look at, how we go about presenting good news in a business memo. And then also I want you to read about how bad news messages are created in business writing. And then finally, I want you to look over the top 10 interview questions and best answers. And you can see that once you get into that, you'll have the question and then the best possible answer. So once you read through that, those documents, both produced from Purdue Owl and from other business publications, are going to help you in the assignments for the week. The first one is I want you to create a good news memo, and I want you to consider, kind of imagine yourself as being someone employed by the University Human Resources Department at Oakland University, and I want you to create a good news memo for one of these types, either an appreciation or congratulations, a promotion, or a raise. And I want you to, adhere to not only the style and usage, but the way that you would, appropriately head the memo, open, provide a context, the body, and the closing. This memo should be about 1 page long, and it's due on January 14th at 11:55 p.m. Similarly, I want you to create a bad news memo. I want you to, consider how to appropriately convey bad news. And, some examples are just when a supervisor may need to deny a request for time off, or may even need to terminate an employee. But I want you to go to the examples of potential workplace conflicts of interest. You can scroll down a little bit here, and you'll see some scenarios. I want you to pick one of those scenarios, hiring a family member, or paying consulting services to a customer or supplier. I want you to consider that situation. And then I want you to create a fictional employee, just like you did for the other memo. And I want you to create a bad news memo to that particular employee because of his or her conflict of interest situation. And again, you're going to want to adhere to the style guidelines, but you'll also want to adhere to the setup of a memo according to what you'll be able to review from the Purdue Owl. All right. Finally, discussion forum number 2, I want you to actually use your webcam or phone or some kind of a recording device to answer interview questions, and you're going to eventually submit for your first post your own interview, video with the answers to these 5 questions. And then I want you to critique 2 other students' videos. So you'll have a total of 3 posts, and use this mock interview critique form as a guideline. I want you to include definitely some bit of positive feedback in 2 or 3 areas that would need improvement based on what you observe in this particular interview video. If you've got questions about the assignments for the week, just let me know. Otherwise, just make sure that you adhere to the deadlines. For this week, everything is due by 11:55 p.m. on Sunday, January 24th.